Hey, I'm Kyle Murray, and this is the Westfield Memorial Pool. I was a swimmer for my entire young life, all the way up through high school, and after that I spent 3 years coaching the competitive summer team here, which was the first team I joined, the team I came up on as a kid. I swam on the blue team for my whole life, for my whole career as a competitive swimmer, from the time I was 8 till the time I was 18, and you know, I got to know a lot of people working at the pool, a lot of people coming to the pool, spent a lot of time here, and then, you know, as soon as I turned 17 and I was looking for a job, our head coach, Judy Lee, asked me if I was interested in a coaching position, and I, you know, gladly accepted. So like when I was just starting swimming, and like all the way through when I had, you know, finished my competitive swimming career, and like after I, you know, spent those years coaching, what always really, you know, put swimming like a cut above a lot of other sports for me was just the age diversity that you got in, like, you know, swimmers, coaches, everybody involved. Because I remember being an 8-year-old kid, you know, there's only 8 lanes in town that all the swimmers can practice in. So you end up sharing a pool with people who are much different than you. You share the pool with girls, you share the pool with, you know, people who are 18 years old when you're 8 years old. And like, you know, I don't know if you remember what it's like to be an 8-year-old boy, but when you end up in a pool all of a sudden sharing it with a bunch of like 17-year-old girls, 16-year-old guys, and then other people your age, you end up learning a lot. So when I started coaching, that's what I really got into. I remembered feeling that way and knowing how much that I could learn from people who had just been around for a little bit longer than me. So as a coach, I coached, you know, close to 275 kids on 3 different teams here. So I always took the time to get to know every single one of them. Like, sure, I made better friends with some than others. We would talk about music, we would talk about movies, and of course we would talk about stroke mechanics, what works for you, what doesn't. I grew up in this town. This is the pool where I swam at. And I was dealing with a lot of kids who were growing up in this town and swimming at this pool where I swam at. So we could talk about a lot of things. We could talk about, you know, what was going on in New York City, just the train ride away. We could talk about what was going on in New Brunswick, New Jersey, or Philadelphia. Local music, local art, all kinds of things like that. And you know, when you're an 8-year-old kid, you learn a lot from an 18-year-old kid who came up in the same town that you came up in. That was what I really liked about it, you know, aside from the sport itself. So coaching swimming offered me a really good opportunity to help the youth of my community, spread love for a sport that I love myself, and get paid without wearing a shirt all summer.